Kalia ist ein kreatives Leben, and today I would like to walk you through my art journal. And as some of you might have noticed, during the first half year I was not very creative, at least not online. One of the reasons was that I had a lot of things to do, but also because I was still creating on a weekly basis here in my journal, following a course called Let's Face It from Cara Bullock Art, and I would like to show you what I have been doing in the last months, 6 months to be precise. So basically, Let's Face It, it is about drawing faces, and this is one of the objectives I have set to myself for this year. I want to improve my skills, especially the faces that are turned down, and probably not women faces but children's faces, or male faces, or older faces, etc. So I want to get more variety in my skills. What I really liked about the course, and that's why I decided to do it, is it would run us through different movements. So we are starting with Renaissance, and here at the bottom you can see the painter that we would be doing, and this is really close to, or well, at least I was trying to mimic, it's not close, but I was trying to mimic Piero della Francesca's painting, and this is how it looked like, a lot of gold, and the faces are very simple, or were very simple during that time, because they weren't very good at three-dimensionality. At least that's what my guess. I nevertheless love Renaissance style, but I couldn't replicate it. Then we went to Caravaggio, which I really like. This is I think a lesson from Carrie Brummer, and basically she asked us to work with pencils, and this is really based on the original. I don't think I made a painting, or I don't have a photocopy of the original, but it looks very similar, and I'm very pleased about the results, because I think I got the hands very well out, and the face is quite, the likeliness is quite good. Then one of my favorite lessons, or one of my favorite artists, Leonardo da Vinci. So I didn't choose Angela Kennedy. So Angela Kennedy proposed the approach on how to tackle this, and we worked a lot with, I think it was with pastel, charcoal, and in the background I was using like a wash of probably burnt umber as usual. And I decided to choose this painting because I really like the color scheme, and it's very dull, not in a negative sense, but they're not very many colors, and you know I'm a very colorful person, but it forced me to really focus on the tridimensionality of the face. And while I don't think they look alike, I'm very pleased with the outcome. I really like her. I think I didn't, you know, my hair looked very different, but hair are for me still a big challenge even after this 6 months. Then we went to Bellini. I think this is an Annie Hamman course, and here I chose to take a painting from Bellini, and I took the approach chosen by Annie Hamman and did a mixture of both. I added, for example, some gold with some gel pen, and of course, you know, Bellini wouldn't have had a gel pen. So I mixed both, and I went with some white charcoal, I think, on top, and I really like her, and I think it's like she's a typical face that I do. You know, she's very close to what I do usually. Then we went to Laura Murphy, who chose Botticelli. I love Botticelli. I told you I love Renaissance. I love the so-called simplicity of it. But for me it was really a challenge, because it's very different to what I usually paint. I love the black in the background, I love the gold, I love gold in general. And this one was a challenge for me because of the profile. I think meanwhile I will do it differently, to be honest, but you know, that's always the learning curve that you need to have. And then we went on and we went into post-Renaissance. And here what the objective was really to not to take a painting from Dürer, but you know, Dürer would do a lot of charcoal exercises. So this is what we did. We did charcoal. This was an exercise, I think, by Cara, and I chose this face from the internet because I really love the face, very strong male face, and yeah, I like the result. Again, the likeliness is not 100%, but I think the end result is what matters. Then Carrie Broomer asked us to do a self-portrait. I was not too inclined to do so. I don't know, I didn't feel like doing it. I didn't want to do something similar to before, so I took my own path. So the paintress, because we've been introduced to many paintresses, which I really find amazing. So Anna Dorothea Tierbusch was the paintress that was introduced to us, a German paintress, so for me even more relevant because I had never heard of her. And what made her very special, beside being a woman, is that she would have this huge glass in front of her eye, and she wouldn't mind painting it. She wouldn't follow the usual, you know, we need to be pretty approach for women. She just painted herself the way she is. So I struggled, to be honest. I tried to do it differently by adding some color pencil. Yeah, this is probably not my best painting, but you know, we learn with every painting. This is a lesson by Dina Strachan-Wilson, Cara's sister. I tried to reproduce the painting she has chosen. This is a painting by G.W. Waterhouse. Yeah, this is probably one of the paintings I like the least. I don't know, I don't like her face. I don't know what, I don't like what I did out of it. Yeah, I've done better paintings. But then, you know, the next lesson is from Giulia Biagioni. I think she's Italian, but she lives in Amsterdam, and I really love this painting. So this is based on the style from Rembrandt. This is a picture or women out of the internet again, but the approach is similar to the way Rembrandt would be painting, with pastels, and I really love the softness of the painting that came out of it. I learned a lot from this painting here. I really loved what happened. Then we have a painting that is strongly inspired by Sharon Harkness Dobler. She's an American paintress based in Germany that I really like. So I really like her style. So I decided to try to mimic her style. But I was very impressed, or I really liked the different, so the Henry Ozawa Tanner. So, don't I have? Oh, yes, I have. So this is the original from Henry Ozawa Tanner. But as you can see, I took Sharon Harkness Dobler's approach, you know, more like a more whimsical approach, let's say, to the painting. But I really like the way they are together, the old man and the little boy. But here I changed the genres, basically the gender. So it's a woman with a little girl, obviously, and they play the banjo together. And so I have tried to do my own, but by using the approach of Sharon Harkness Dobler. So we have less post-Renaissance, and by the way, which I found very interesting, I think he was coming from he's a black painter, so I'm not sure there were that many during that time. And I think originally he was from a slave family, and he was able to even go to France and paint his own style, and great paintings. Have a look at him. I really enjoyed what he was doing. And this is what I really enjoyed about the course. You know, I got to meet, of course, there are some, you know, the standards like Van Gogh, Rembrandt, etc. But you get to know new painter and paintresses, which I really enjoyed. So here, this is a paintress as well. It's Marie Cassatt. I have tried to do a mixture, so that would be her painting. I didn't like the face that she painted, so I chose a face from the internet. I didn't like the background. I preferred what had been done by Cara. Cara had done the topic. I chose a different painting than the one she chose. But this is, you know, everyone can do what she or he wants, right? So this is probably the worst of all my paintings, and that's okay, because this really was an exercise, and the exercise was, so this is based on Matisse, and the exercise was from Lucy Chen. Lucy was very, I really liked the way she approached it. She said, you know, just paint, just do it in 10 minutes. It's not about it being perfect. It's really trying to play around and to try to look at how Matisse approached the topic. So I had to take a picture of myself, so that would be my picture, and I would have to use only 2 colors, so the green and the pink, and I had to use them in the face. And if I would have had more time, I would have gone back and improved and worked on it, but that's not the purpose. It's really practicing and yeah, interesting, because, you know, a face can be green. It's still a face, right? Yeah. So this was Lucy Chen, and then we had Tanya Cole from Australia. She wanted to do a Monet, and Monet is very well known for his flowers. So here I took Magnolia because it was Magnolia time in Europe, and because this is really face it, I looked for a face that Monet had painted. She used Monet's face, but he never, well, there's a self-portrait, but I didn't like his face. I don't know, I don't think he's a very handsome man, and I didn't find him very interesting. So I found this painting of his son, so he did a painting of his son, and I really liked it, so I tried to put it on top, and it's not, you know, it's not the exact replication of his face, but I like the result. I like the flowers in the background, so also an interesting one. Then we went to Tony Bird. I really like Tony. She's also from Australia, and she loves terrying and working with collage paper. And she chose a paintress that I didn't know, Berthe Morisot, a French lady, and I really love this painting of her. I think, so it's a portrait of her, but I'm not sure she's the paintress. So that's something I've seen different names underneath as the paintress, but I love this painting. I really love her as a woman. I mean, she looks amazing, and that's why I chose to do the approach of Tony and to try to mimic this one, and that's the result. I like her, but I think this one is even more beautiful, but that's, you know, how it works. Then we had June Toyama, who basically said, let's sketch. And if we speak of Nikolai Fechin, we just, you know, use some charcoal and scribble, and this is what I did. I really like that. That's this is my husband. He was listening to music, and, you know, he had 10 minutes to spare, so I asked him to stay, and I had only 10 minutes, and it looks like him, I think. If you knew him, you would tell me that it looks like him. Then we had Carol McConnell, and she chose Edgar Degas, and she chose, I think, dancers, but because this is Face It, and that's why I chose it, I decided to take her approach, but I decided to paint a painting of Edgar Degas. And it's not that easy to find, because that's not what he is known for. He's not known for faces. But I really like this woman, and I thought that the approach chosen by Carol, she basically asked us to use opposite colors. So I choose my blues and my oranges to mix all these colors, and this is, you know, how these colors happen, and I find it very harmonious. So I really like that, and I certainly will use that again, this approach again. This is my favorite painting, I think, in the whole book so far. I love Van Gogh. Who doesn't? And when we had to paint him, I looked at what Cara was doing with his paintings, and I decided that I wanted to paint him because I love this color combination. I love the turquoise, teal, and then the red on top of it, and then the red hair that he has. And so I mixed it a little bit, and as you can see, there is some ultramarine blue in the background, and it really pops between the paint strokes that I took, and I really, really love that effect. It's Baroque, but my own style, and I like the result. Then, so now we are in the Impressionist movement, And then Giuna Biagioni, who had done Rembrandt, came back and shows again a Dutch painter, Kees van Dongen, who was very famous in France, and used some more layering approach, and I've tried to mimic. So I did my own painting, but trying to mimic Kees van Dongen with the big eyes and the very simplified approach. I don't think I have a painting of him, of the painting that I chose, but this is basically what I did, and it's quite interesting. It's very different, not what I would usually do, but you know, this is how we learn and how we improve, and this gives you ideas for other paintings. Then we have Ivy Newport, and I think she chose that painting. I'm quite sure it's the same painting that she chose. I might be wrong, I don't recall everything, but I really love here the color palette. It's not at all my kind of color palette. I'm very much for colorful pink, red, you know, purple, you name it. But I love this black and blue, and you know, they're all very close to each other, and I really love this part. The face, yeah, could be better, but this part I really, really, really like. Again, another woman paintress. I really love that. I didn't know her, some very beautiful stuff. Here we have Sharon Harkness Dobler again. I really like her style, but this time I wanted to be closer to the original painter. And this is again a paintress, Irma Stone from South Africa. She does a lot of, because I think she's dead, yes, she died. Because she's from South Africa, she painted a lot of the people from the surrounding. It's very ethnical, and I really love this painting. How sensual does she look, right? She looks amazing. So what I've created is a mixture between what Sharon proposed and this painting, and you know, and probably my own as well. But yeah. And then we have a man, Pierre Bonnard. He was introduced by Pauline Agnew, and this is his lover. I don't know if he married her. I think he married her, yeah, his wife. And here I really love the very loose approach, and I copied that. That's very close to what Pauline did, so yeah, I like that. Then we went to Art Nouveau, and this is a very interesting art. This is very close to our to our generation, or I don't know. And we have lots of Art Nouveau and Jugendstil and this kind in Germany. So this is for me an art I really appreciate. And here, this is based on Hodler. I didn't really take the approach chosen by Cara. I chose my own. I chose this painting because I really like this little boy. As I told you, I wanted one of the reasons I'm doing this course is because I want to learn new things. So I wanted to have this little boy, and I love how playful and how light this painting is. And here just by looking at the painting, I thought, how could I try to replicate that? And you know, the face doesn't look the same, but still, I really like this. The next one is from Angela Kennedy, and this is Mucha, a very well-known illustrator from Czech Republic. And while I like the illustrations, while I like this Art Nouveau, Jugendstil style, I was very disappointed by the paper. I wanted it to be colorful, but the warping is not the issue. The issue is really that the painting really didn't do as I wanted, or probably I wasn't able to manage it. That's the other thing, right? So this is something I'm not happy about, and then I use some color pencil on top to try to make it nicer, I guess. But I didn't really manage. So this is not technically not one of my best pieces. Then we went, there is more. Yeah, this is Tony Birch, and this is Elisabeth Sorel, sorry. this is a classic Tony Bird, you know, with the collages and then the watercolors. And this, I think, fits very well to the original, which is very Art Nouveau. I really like this one. I even managed almost to get the same paint flowers, and here I had to watercolor it in myself. But that's a painting I really like. The face looks really like one of my faces, not like Elizabeth Sorel. But that's the way it is. And we are arriving to the last one, which is Dina Strachan Wilson, so the sister of Cara. And I really love this girl. I mean, it's a girl, obviously she's very young, but I love how she's sitting there. And if you know, so this is a Chile imitation, and I was very strongly inspired by him as well as by Dina, because she basically said, you know, try to take some of the pieces that he's using as collages. And this is what I did, you know, I took a lot of collages, a lot of gold, obviously, gold collage. So I hope you enjoyed this flip through, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Bye bye, see you next week!